Hello? Hello, my friends. We are back streaming. We are back live. I just have to check if it's really stream number 28 or is stream number 29. Let me check that. '29 it should be. Let me change that. Yes, 29 actually. Stream 29. So good to see you. Good to see you. And I can give you a short update of what we did yesterday in case you were not here. I will always do a bit of a recap at the beginning of the stream, so that if you connect at the beginning, you get some information of what we did the previous day. Hello Calmus and hello Soup, welcome. So yesterday we continued to fight the quest bubbles, but we actually resolved it. So we managed to get the quest bubble to work exactly as we wanted, in the sense that we can speak with our NPC. We get the face camera, so we are exactly facing the character, and then we get some bubbles here, some options which at the moment are just pure text, but then we would change them to, say, a better graphics. But where I can just speak with her just by clicking on one of them, saying for example hi, and she answers here. She answers here at the top. Would like to earn a little money? And I would say, cool, yeah, I'm totally broke. And she said, my daughter Alina ran off with the Smith, blah 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 blah, blah, right? And so we can actually, yeah, we can actually execute the quest, seeing the bubble, seeing the text, and yeah, it works pretty well. We had one issue actually on the bubble itself, for which we were getting the base quest twice, and I can show you. I think the bug is still there. There it is. So like now, when I reopen the dialog, as you can see, I'm getting from the server multiple answers, while I should not get these answers. So for example, here I got 4 things. I got you will never find her, shrugs and nods, and hi, right? And all these 3 are on the same quest, and basically it's impossible to get all these 3 at the same time, because some of those are a prerequisite for the others. So there is a kind of a bug in the logic that we are sending messages out, and I don't know if you want to debug it today. Maybe today we should do something different, because we work so much on the chat bubble, so I will leave it there for now. But there is still a bug to fix, and during the night I finished the copy of the old PlanShift client and PlanShift server on this machine. So now we can actually run the old one, the old server here, and so I can show you. So we can do a check and see if in the old one we have the same kind of answers. But I think we had enough chat bubbles in the last few streams, and so I will not do any more of that. I don't want to do any more of that. So I will, yeah, I think I will do something else. In particular, one thing I wanted to do is to check the quests and not the quest, the inventory and the quest give. When you give an item or when you receive an item from an NPC, right? Particularly when you have to give an item, because there will be a number of quests which are really related to, you know, the typical find an item, give an item, get another item, and such. Then obviously we will create a good story behind, but see, the basic mechanics is that you can send and retrieve items, right? So for that, at the moment we don't have this capability. We don't have it. So we have an inventory system which is actually working, and on this inventory system, what we want to do, we want to be able, for example, to drop an item or to exchange it with an NPC, right? So to give it to an NPC. At the moment, it's not possible. So if I take like this falcon, right, and try to drop it on her or say give it to her, is not doing anything, right? It's not doing anything. But I think that we can, you know, we can enable this. You see, there is already some printouts that are happening, right? Here, some printouts that I think that Cyborg already set up for us to be able to drop an item into the world. Right? So, yeah. So I think this is what we are trying to do today. So we are trying to have it in a way that when I drop an item, she receives it. And actually, if she is in a quest, I mean, if a quest requires a specific item to be given, it is actually working properly. And also, if I drop an item to the ground, I can drop it and I can then pick it up again. Right? It is what we want to do. Obviously, we want to do this with all the server logic, all the PlanSheet server logic that was working before, because we don't want to just drop an item in the 3D world, but want to drop an item and store in the database that is actually dropped. So make it persistent, right? So the next time we connect, we find the item on the ground, right? So yeah, that is the point. Let me just notify a few people. Okay, so how we're gonna do this? I have no idea because I never did it. So I will try to find out how we can do this. If you have any suggestion, please let me know. If not, I will just try to find out a way. So the first thing we should do, we should check this. Yeah, you see these messages that has been already set up for us, which gives us, I think, the position and the item we are colliding to, which is good. So let me quit the client and open the editor. I think we should also quit the server. There is no need to keep the server up. This one, what is it? I think this one is the old. It's the old client. Is the old server, so we can quit at the moment. We don't need the old server up. And we can close this window as well. Okay. So let's launch the editor. And let's see how we can do this. Let's see how we can do this. So I think that in our existing code, we already have we already have multiple functions to drop items, right? And so we have to be sure that we call those functions from the client, right? Now, which are those functions? Actually, I don't remember exactly, so we have to go and check. But I guess that under our PS item, I think we have a way to drop it. Did we create our APS item at the end or not? PS item, yes, it's called PS item actor. So we basically have two classes. We have one class which is called PS item actor, which is the actor that exists in the 3D world, and then we have PS item, which is this one, which is more of the logical item, right? So it is the logical item that is having all the characteristics and all the data and everything. The actual 3D item is only keeping the mesh and the existence into the 3D world, but also as a pointer to the logical item. You see, with this get item function, we are getting the item, the logical item associated to this physical one. Okay, so that's the point. Hello, Jess. Welcome back. Let me check just in our psitem.h. In our psitem class, which kind of functions we have to actually drop the item to the ground, right? I think there should be a move or wow, so many get, like 1 million. I don't see a drop. Let me search a drop in this class. Drop doesn't exist, which is interesting. I think it doesn't exist because I know why, because there is a logical item, and so we have to go into the old class which was called the gem actor, gem item. Now I see here a handle drop message, which is actually an economy manager, surprisingly enough. I don't know why it's in economy manager, but we have a handle drop message. It seems to be the one that we are searching for. And it seems that it's only here. So let me see. Here I have to open the old one. So under plane shift trunk, I'm just opening the old sources so we can double check, because there we have everything. So it's a bit better, and we can select solution only, and we open PS typical and not the static. It's the same. Basically it's the same. They include the same classes. Okay, so we're opening the old code just to check, but I think this handle drop message is probably the one that we want. Let me see if there is any other drop. There is a command drop message, which probably will be used by that handle command. There is a PS drop event, and that's it. So these are the ones that we actually have. There's also a scheduled drop. Command drop. No, I think that our two classes are probably PS drop event and drop message and handle drop message. I think these are the two. Yes, that is my feeling. But let's check just here under bulk objects and gem. Gem is actually server side, right? So I should go under PS server gem. Yes, it is. So let me search for drop. Match case. Okay, no, there is no drop in here. Interesting. It's only an economy manager, so there is no actual drop command in our physical object in the old code. It seems there is only one inside exchange manager. No, so the economy manager, which is the handle drop message. So let's check on the client side, because I want to understand on the client side how we were doing the dropping. It will not be very easy to find, but let's try to do something simple as searching drop everywhere in the client side, in the client project, right? Okay, server drop does this is drop. There is a drop command. Okay, the drop command I think is probably pointing to what we need, because it's the same thing. If we do it with a command or if we do it with with a UI, at the end we are executing the same stuff server side, right? So this one seems to be doing, for a drop command, is checking the quantity, is checking if we are specifying all guard, no guard, in place. I mean, if we are dropping money, and then it creates this PS drop message, PS command drop message. Okay, so this is one way to do it. Now let's see if we find also the other way. Money drop message actually here is PS slot movement. Okay, that's fine. That is the same one we are searching now. Drop inventory list, drop something. Drops, no, this is drops, this is the rain, this is the weather manager, which is calculating the amount of drops. So it's not this for sure. Special combat event is not this. Sorry that the text is a bit small, but I cannot. Okay, handle event, drop item. Okay, so I think this one could be the one that we are searching for, because this one is an event on slot manager, and slot manager is the one that is managing the small bulk items, you know, that we have, the small the icons in our inventory, right? So there is one that is managing that. So you see that the old code, what it was doing was checking if we are dragging the item, is checking if we are clicking on it, so to take it, right? And then is checking if we are placing it on the ground somewhere, right? So there is a drop the item at the current position, right? So there is the function that is dropping it. Okay, if not, it allows you to rotate it. Yes, because in the old client, when you drop an item, you have the chance to rotate it, and then you click again, and it gets, say, in that position, in that rotation, right? So there is this mechanic. Cancel drag. Okay, mouse up. Is rotating. Yes, you see here is rotating the object. Fine, but it seems that the main event is this one, handle event, which is then calling drop item. I'm just checking if there is also the one where we are moving between slots, because one thing is dropping it, one thing is moving in between different slots, right? Like if you're moving in the inventory, you are reorganizing your inventory. It is a drag and drop widget. Place item. So place item, get WS position, create a mesh. So here it was creating the mesh. Create and select. Dragging slot material, blah blah blah. If created mesh is valid, then we hide the inventory to see what we are dropping. Okay, so this is really dropping it on the ground. Get rid of the icon, mark its placing, update the item. I just don't understand too much what is the difference between this place item and drop item, because we saw that one is calling the other. I mean, one is subsequent to the other. Get drop item, get final position and rotation. Okay, so place item is deciding the location, is deciding where you drop it, and then there is this time where you can still rotate it a bit, and then you can actually, when you do drop, I think is, yes, get the final position and rotation. So this one is finalizing the position, right? Now the question is, do we want to have all of this? I think we want to have all of this. Let me just check if we have migrated already the slot manager. Remember that whenever you see the black background is the Unreal code, and whenever you see the white background is the old PlaneShift code. Is the old PlaneShift code. Slot manager. Let's search for slot manager and see if we have it. We don't have it. I remember a slot.h or something like remember, yes, slots it is. Maybe it's not the one though. I think the slot manager we actually didn't migrate yet. Strange though, I remember. Yes, yes, here it is. Slot manager. Yes, yes, we have it. We have it. We have it. So we have it migrated already, which is great. So we can use it. We can use it. So we already have all this logic available. So we have the drop item, we have everything. So we should also have, so drop item, let me just search here in the new code, but yes, I think it's the same, you know, it's the same. Why drop item is not in slot manager? I see it here. Must be here. Okay. Because another class actually is called, it's not slot manager, it's called PS slot manager. Because this one is on the client side. Tricky. Yes, this one is on the client side. So on the client side we have another class, which is the one that is doing, anyway, all this code we will have to redo because it's a client side and Unreal Engine obviously working completely differently. But so I think yes, client side we cannot really, you know, change any of this. But I see here that we are basically using this PS slot movement message, which is passing through container world as a parameter. So it's like if I'm moving between one slot to the other, or if I'm moving between one slot and the world, is exactly the same code used, just with different parameters. Right? So okay, this is good to know. It's good to know. So what we can do, I think, is to ensure that we have, well, PS slot movement message, I think we absolutely need to convert, right? Because it's the main one that we will use today. So we have to convert it. Now we only have a stub, I think. Yes, we only have a one that is not really a message, but it's just an example, it's just a temporary one. So I think we need to get the real one from here, right? And convert this one to a real message. Now let me check what this thing is doing. Let me check what this thing is doing. So the constructor, okay, is creating the message, which we don't care anymore. Is setting the type of this message. Okay, it's fine. Client num to 0, is adding this information, right? This coming through, but I think we can now do it differently because we don't need to put into a message, we just need to set the variables. Then here I don't know exactly what it's doing. If pointer 3D is different than null, then adds it. Okay, if not, add a dummy 0 if not specified. Okay, I think it's fine. Yeah, just defaulting to 0 if there is if this variable is null. I mean, it's just setting it to 0. Then he adds also these ones and this one. Yeah, I think it's pretty much okay. It's pretty much okay. There's nothing special about this. There's nothing special. So I think we can convert it the same way we did with other messages. So for example, the PS dialog message, the inventory GUI message, I mean, all these things are exactly, maybe we should add some description exactly what they do, because I think we will forget very quick what all these things are doing. Okay, but let's put it here. So here we want to have a new message, which is this one, which will, anyway, we will delete most of it, but let's copy it all for now. And this one will become like all the others. It will become a struct, right? It will become a struct with its constructor. So let's change it to a struct. We don't inherit anymore from message cracker because we don't need it. We will have one constructor for sure, which will take all these parameters. CS vector becomes F vector for Unreal. We can remove all this message, all this stuff is not needed. I think we can. I don't know if you want to do the null assignment really, or we want just to do you know, the vector. I don't know why we have null here and we don't have. Consider we then in the code we just set it to 0. I don't know why we don't do something like this, you know, and then how is it Unreal? I don't remember if it's like this or like this. Can I do it, or should I do f vector 0 0 0 vector 0 0 0? Yes, probably it's like this. But this it likes it more. I don't know why it wants a pointer to it, but we can keep a pointer to it. Should not be a big issue. Same for rotation. Rotation is a vector as well. I was expecting rotation to be just a float, no? Rotation is a vector, because I can in theory rotate also on the other axes. Yeah, we are not just rotating on the z-axis, but I could rotate my item in any of the 3 axes, so I think it's fine. So set type, I don't know exactly what is this. Yes, the set type, well, we don't need it anymore, so it's fine. Client also we don't need anymore. All this stuff for us just becomes the setting of all these values. So we can just say container ID, and such, right? So we can just create a new item. Yes. Create new item with a standard constructor, which anyway we need because we will be creating this manually sometimes. So I think it's fine to have this. So it is a bit of the transformation we have to go through to convert these messages. Okay, so I think it is fine. I think it is fine. We can remove all of this because we don't need it anymore, and this one I don't think we need, so we can remove as well. This one we don't need, this one we don't need, so all of this stuff we don't need. We just have to be sure that we are using, you know, f vector here and here, and it should be enough, right? It should be enough. All of that is public. I think it's fine. What is complaining about? I need to use the generated body first of all, and I need to use this U property blueprint on all my parameters. I want to be able to read all these parameters from blueprints. right? I want to be able to read all of that from blueprints. I just don't know why we have a pointer here. I have no idea. I don't even know if we can do it when we are passing to blueprints. I think it should be a standard object. Okay, I think it's fine. We may create an empty constructor. This class should be called then F something, because there is the way structs are declared in Unreal. So if you don't call it F something, it just doesn't work. And we can have just an empty constructor because I've seen that he likes it. So we can create an empty constructor. So this will be our new message, right? We just try to compile this and see what it says. Hello, Sway. Sway, I think we will be soon doing some work on the characters though, because I've imported some items a few weeks ago, and now let's say we have a limited amount of characters. I may go and import some of the existing characters, and then we can start to do one by one, you know, slowly but surely the conversion to Blender, and then they're doing some of the animations and stuff. So yeah, let's see. I don't know why he's complaining that it doesn't have. Did I mess up something? I think it should be okay. Oh, I missed the open close. Is what I miss. Why he moved it? Okay. So yes, we will have to do a bit of work also on the characters, because I would like to start to import some characters to have some different NPCs in the game with different views. Just checking while it compiles very quickly if okay, from container ID, okay. Why doesn't like this? These are all int, right? Am I missing something? What I'm missing? Why doesn't like the I'm just comparing it with the other one that I have up there, but it seems very similar. So if I compare it to the other one that compiles, what is the difference? I have my class with all the parameters declared, right? And then I have my constructor here with all the parameters one after another, and then the implementation, right? And then the empty method. So why he's complaining that from container ID is a non-static data member of base class. Okay, apart from the fact it doesn't like the two vectors, which by the way I think I would like to pass on as not as pointer. If I do like this, does he like it more? I think we like that more. What I'm missing in that line? Hello, Tua. Nice to see you. How are you? Tell me a bit about you guys. What did you do these days? Or what are you planning to do in the next days? Tell me a bit about you while I'm waiting the compilation. And hey Jess, did you manage to compile, let's say, Unreal and have your environment set up? Do you think you can contribute, or do you want to contribute? Because I mean, if you want to help, there is for sure something that you can do, right? You can test. Um, I don't understand exactly why it's complaining also only about this classes. I think I'm missing something very evident, but I'm not seeing it. So it's saying that from container ID doesn't like it. I took exactly the names that were here. Because this is called from container ID and not from container. Okay. Because there was the okay. There was the um, they are called slightly differently, these guys. They are called slightly different to avoid the shadowing thing. Yes. You see, they are called just with they just have an ID in addition. I don't know why, but they just have it to avoid, I think, the shadowing. Saying this variable is shadowing another variable, blah blah blah. Rot, we didn't do it on rot, though, but okay. Okay, now he likes it, I guess. Yes, I was talking to you, Jess. I was just saying if you manage to set up your Unreal Engine environment, and yeah, I mean, it seems to me that you wanted to help or you wanted to do some stuff with us. So I was just wondering if you set up the environment and if you want or can contribute, or if you have ideas on what you would like to help on. Assuming you have the time, because obviously it requires a bit of time. Okay, if you have it set up and you want to help with something, I can give you access to the source code. I don't remember if I already gave it to you or not, but I can give you access to that. So you can compile and run exactly what I am compiling and running. I can give you the access, no problem. Let me check. Are you in Discord? Because I will have to message you directly. I will have to message you directly the password, so I need you to be in a place where so let me paste the Discord channel. Anyone can join there if you want. The Discord channel is this one. Sometimes YouTube does something stupid and it puts like 6 weird character at the end of the URL, so but you should be able to join, right? You should be able to join. If you join there, I have to create a user for you and I will give you a password. Okay. Playing. Okay. Okay, I generated it. So if you join, I just generated a random password, kind of random. So if you join Discord, where is it? If you manage to join the Discord channel, in case okay, you have a different nick, maybe I will rename you. I think I can rename you. I don't know if I rename you, for everyone, or I rename you only for, or maybe you can do this. Can you right click on the channel at the top, so on the server, right? If you right click on the plane shift icon, you should have the ability to change nick, and you will change it only for this server. So your nick will remain your main one in every other Discord server, but only for this one it will be like Jess. You know, if you want to be called Jess here. So we have some yes, exactly. So now if you type again, you will be Jess. Let me send you a message. Okay, so that is your username and that is your password. This incredible thing I have created. Okay, there is username and password, and I'm giving you also the link to the SVN. I'm giving you the link to the SVN, which is wait a second. Where is this directory? Just lost myself. Ah, there it is. Okay. Which is this one. Okay. You should have received a direct message from me on Discord with okay, with the password, the thingy, and so for now, please don't check in anything. But when you start to get comfortable, then you can start to check in stuff as well. Okay. So just for now, just use Subversion, check it out, and when yes, when you feel comfortable enough, then you can check it. You can start checking changes. At the moment, it's basically me, Cyborg, which is doing a lot of work, which is called C72 in Discord, and Ravna, which is not checking in much stuff at the moment, but he was doing it in the past. And now you. Okay, so it's a very limited number of people that are checking in stuff, so it's okay. We have few more people that have access. There are like 3 other people that have access to this, but it's still pretty limited amount of guys. So it should be fine. I mean, it's not too messy. And we also have the ability to roll back in case you do some mistake or anything. So yeah, so I think if you want to just install one thing is that in the directory, I think there is you need MySQL, and there is one directory called I don't remember where is the SQL thingy. It's probably under source somewhere. Tools, I don't remember where I play. Anyway, if you search in this directory SQL file, there it is. Is under Unreal Scripts. Okay, it's under scripts. Under script, there is here the SQL. There is a SQL dump that I did some time ago. So you just have to import that SQL dump into your MySQL, and you will get exactly the same items and the same stuff that I see in game. So the same NPC, the same main player, the same everything. Right? So I think is yeah, should be fine. think it should be fine. There is the dummy database. So it's a dummy database, but it's a database that we use, right? That we use for our tests. Okay. So let's move on. So we converted this message, which now is called F because it's a struct, and then PS is slot movement message. Okay, which is good. Now, what we want to do, we want to call this message exactly like the old code was doing. We want to call this message when we are actually dropping an item into the world, or when we are moving one item from one slot to the other, right? And that is done. We are client side now. No, we are server side. So let's open up the client side a second. Yes, here. So like for example here, when we are dragging, handling changes, I think we should not take in any consideration this code, because this code is just client side, and client side unfortunately we have to redo completely. So I don't know if we want to reuse some of this logic, but I don't know. I think we can just redo it. It will probably be easier to redo it than to try to go through this. Yes, I think so. So I'm just checking. It's in the same slot. Yeah, so it's checking if it's the same slot. So if we are dropping it from one slot to the other, and in case if it's dropping to another slot, or if it's dropping to the world and such, and then is placing. Yes. I don't know. We will figure it out. I don't think we need to reuse any of them. I mean, it would be nice to reuse this, but I don't think we can. So we should just ignore it for now. The only one that we need is basically here, when he's actually dropping the item and he's sending this drop message, right? So this drop item in the current document is here. Yeah, slot manager handle event. And then here, okay, and the rest is place item. Yes. Now, one thing that we don't know yet is how to manage containers and slots. So we have to, because we have to pass some parameters to this function, right? And one, for example, is the container ID. So do we have any description of? We have zero description. Huh? Interesting. We have zero description of how that is done. I mean, what the meaning of these parameters. But I think we can sort them out. So he's actually using a dragging slot. So a slot manager dragging slot, and in the slot that he's dragging from, is keeping few things, like he's keeping the container ID, the slot ID, and the stack count. So these are the three elements that he's keeping inside the slot when he's dragging the item. Actually, I see that the dragging slot is much more than this. You see it here, because he also has, okay, the actual slot that he's pointing to, and it's fine, but he also has some mesh name, material name, tooltip, action, parent ID. I think it's similar to what, let me see if we have a structure for that, because so let me check. Inside inventory we are creating make empty inventory slot. Yes, so a W item widget. Okay, W item widget, I don't know if it's the best name. I would like to call it slot, like it is in the old code, so we will have a bit better, so maybe we can call it item slot widget. I know that renaming this may cause some. Well, no, I think everything will rename itself properly. I don't like this the W item because I would call it W slot item. Okay, so we remember. Let's see if we can do it. There are many references, but yes, it did it. Okay, so now it's called W slot item. For some reason, it didn't refresh this though. It's still called W. Is the name of this function, but it actually is creating. You see, it's creating a W slot item here. Probably it's changing the name only when you assign it. Yeah, it's changing the name only when you assign it. Okay, that's not too great, but it's fine. So we have our slot item, right? And I'm just checking which kind of parameter this slot item has. Let's go and check because we need few parameters on it. At the moment we have how many parameters we have? We have a lot of we have a lot of variables on this slot item actually. Wow, this graph. Wow. There's a lot of stuff done here. There it is, drop item into the world. Okay, so here you see there is already stack count, which is exactly what we need. Icon image, row name, okay, size, weight, inventory slot, okay. Now, if we can keep these names as similar as possible to the old code, I think it would be better. So in the old code we had a container ID, a slot ID, and a stack count. So stack count is exactly already the same name. Now inventory slot, I think is what we call slot ID. I think inventory slot is fine. I mean, we can have inventory slot ID maybe, or inventory slot ID. Inventory slot is an integer, right? Yes, it's an integer. But we don't have at the moment the container. We don't have a container string, which is a bit of a pity unless we can easily find out in which container we are. Actually, in the old code, we were keeping the container ID inside the dragging slot, so that when it's set, we can just read it from this item. It's probably a bit simpler. Okay, let me try to understand what is this graph is doing. This graph is huge. It's a big graph. Okay, so we have few things. We have item click and on pressed. Okay. Item click is actually a custom event, which I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but receive item click, receive item click. No, this is another thing. So I think this one is called from the outside. It's probably called from the inventory. Let me search for item click inside inventory. No, I don't find it. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's check what it's doing. So this is where the item is actually clicked, and it gets the player, it gets the item attached to cursor, which is a variable that we set on the Planeshift player controller, which I guess is very good. So we know what we are dragging at that specific instant, right? What we are clicking on. We just check that this object is valid, right? We check that this object is valid. If it's valid, then we branch based on, I don't know what is on cursor doing. I have no idea. No idea. And this on cursor thing goes into this other graph where we are getting again the player controller and we are casting it to Planeshift player controller. We are getting the target under cursor. There is also the data. There is all the data that we are using in the dummy database, Jess. So it's yeah. So you have all the data, the simple data. I mean the dummy data I'm using in the text, but everything I test here is using the same data. So the data you will get. So when you import the SQL, you will get it. You will get everything. So anim under cursor, so self. I'm just trying to understand what it's doing. You get this. You get this. It does self. I have no idea what this thing is doing. Target is getting again the item attached to the cursor, drop item into the world. Okay, but based on what? I mean, how did it came here? Item click. I don't know, I don't understand too much the... I mean, what is this doing? Let's go with the on pressed, which probably is the beginning, because this item click is actually a custom event coming from some other places. So the on press, when we press the button, when we press our mouse on a specific icon, again we get the player controller, we check this thing, we get the item attached to cursor, okay, we check if it's valid. We get the character. Why we get the player controller again? Get player character. Okay, so we just get our pawn because we need the pawn for some reason, and we call receive item click. And we call this receive item click. What is this receive item click doing? The receive item click is actually inside our character blueprint. Okay, it's getting the player controller, it's getting the item attached to the cursor, it's checking as usual if it's valid, and then it's calling item click. I just don't understand why all this should be here. I mean, this is basically doing nothing. Why this Cyber, are you connected? Why we are doing this? I mean, why we are doing this twice, you know? So we are inside our, maybe because this is called from multiple places, could be. This maybe is called from multiple places, huh? Because I don't understand exactly why we have to go from on pressed down to our receive item click, and then receive item click here is doing nothing else than going back to item click. So we just go back and forward, just checking if the, you know, if this variable is valid and nothing else. I don't understand. Yeah, but you see, okay, you're there. Okay, good, Cyber. Yes, we just go, when we press, we just go to the receive item click. The receive item click is going back to the character, is doing the same check so that it is valid, and then it's coming back here. It's coming back here. So, and it is doing it again. It's doing again the same check, and it's checking again if it's valid. So it's doing the same check like 3 times, doing nothing, then going through these functions. So I mean, I can leave it, but it seems very redundant. I can leave it here, but no, seems a bit redundant. So anyway, from here to here, we just check the validity of these objects, right? And then I think here is the kind of the logic, right? So on cursor, On cursor. What is this on cursor? I don't get. On cursor. Find references. Update is widget variable. On cursor. Set. Update item slots. Item pickup. Update slot. Update slot. On cursor equal to true. I mean, on cursor meaning that I have the icon attached to my cursor, right? So that's the idea. I think that's the idea, right? That I have the item attached to my cursor. I don't know. Maybe I should just assume that it works, and just do the drop thing, because I think it's a bit hard for me to follow. Consider you did it. I don't want to touch it too much. Maybe what I can do, I can just go into slot item, and when you use the drop, when you say drop into the wall, this is what I should implement, right? So let me check when we arrive here. When we arrive here, we are printing, because I was seeing some printout, right, when we were dropping items. Dropping item into another identical item, dropping item to a different type of item, drop an item into the world. Okay. So get this. So you are using get hit result under cursor. Yes, because it's the one that we need to find. Get controller phone, get actor location. Okay. Result hit location. Vector length. You calculate also the distance. Okay, so just to say that we cannot drop like more than 1000 whatever centimeters away, something like this. So we cannot drop more than 10 meters away. Okay. Makes sense. So check the drop distance. Okay. So there is the check for the drop distance. Then what you are doing here is to check I don't know if I like it more like this or not, but what you are doing here is to get the item is dropped on, right? So this is basically get the 3D object we are dropping into, or we are dropping to. We are dropping to is in English. You can say dropping to, drop to, or drop into, drop to, maybe drop to. So get a 3D object we are dropping to. We are dropping our item on top of. We are dropping on top of. Get the 3D object we are dropping on top of. I don't know. My English sometimes is a bit weird. Then we check the drop distance. Okay, fine. And basically here we are then printing the distance, I guess. Get display of no. We are printing the name of the object, yes, and the distance. Okay, so these were the two numbers that I was saying. I was actually saying a number and a name, right, when I was dropping an item to the world. So there is exactly the thing. Okay, good. So here, what should we do here? We should do two things. First, we should visually drop the item, and second, we should sorry, the opposite. We should notify the server that we are willing to drop the item, right? Because we are just willing to do it. Doesn't mean that we drop it. We're just willing to do it. And then the server will send back to us a message saying, oh yes, you dropped the item, and it will pop up a new item on the ground, right? So it is what we're gonna do. So we need to use here. We need to use the new piece of code that we just converted. So there's PS lot movement message. We need to actually create a new method inside our PlaneShift player controller, and this method will be this method will be what do you, so let's start to check our nomenclature, the naming convention. Naming convention is receive inventory is the one that goes back. Right? The send is the one that goes to the server, right? Send chat message is the incoming one, and receive is the sender. So we are always looking, we're always naming this like if we are the client, right? Yes. So this will be a send something. This will be a send of our. Do we have any other sends? Well, we have talk interactions. We have the interaction thing this way. This will be a send. So this will be item dropped into the world message. So this will be a send. How was that called in the old code? It was drop item, right? It was just drop item. But the message itself was not drop item. The message itself was just a movement from one slot to the other. I think we can keep it generic, right? Because this message is, I think it should just be send move item, you know, whatever it is, send move item as generic item moved from one location to another. I mean, whatever it is, it can be between slots, can be from inventory to world. I mean, it can be anywhere, right? It can be absolutely anywhere. Yeah. So send move item. Okay, send move item. Now, what this send move item should get as a parameter? I think it should get our message, right? Our message, which is this. We call it FPS slot movement message. This thing. FPS slot movement message, and it is our move message. I don't know, move message. In this one, now the question is this one, which category is this? Category inventory, yes. Well, I don't know. It's more category items, but what should this thing get back? I think absolutely nothing, because we don't care about what is sending back, because we will have anyway a message from the server which will notify us of anything that changed, right? So that's a bit of the point. Okay. I'm always referring to the old code because I want to keep it as much as possible as similar to that. So when we were receiving this thing like handle, you see all of these are returning void. So exactly because handle, let me just go to definition, because I think that then these functions were then sending back, yes, you see, send message, are sending back a message to the client. No, wait a second. This one is the one that we sent to the server. This one is the one that we sent to the server. Then server side, I think it was Exchange Manager, right? Exchange Manager was handling the, I think it was handle handle, wasn't that a, no, it was economy manager. Why I continue to say exchange? It's economy manager, not exchange manager. Handle drop message, for example, right? Handle drop message, drop event, a transaction. I was doing it with events and transactions. Don't ask me why, but it was doing something like this. So it's adding the event transaction to the, this I think is going to a queue for sure. Add transaction. No, because we were logging it. We were logging to a file set the transaction happening, including item dropping and everything. So this is what it's doing. But I don't think that then the okay. So probably the economy manager is listening to drops, but it's not the one that is actually doing the right. It's not the one that is actually doing the drop. I think there is another one somewhere. Drop event, pickup event, loot event. Yes, all of that is fine, but let me just check one thing. Yes, message drop event. Message drop event. But this, I'm a bit confused about this message drop event because client side, is this even used? No. Client side is not even used. So how do we know that it is a drop or a move between slots? Right? That is what I'm trying to figure out. Is dragging, is placing. Oh my god, I clicked on handle event, search for method. It will be like 1 million in the code base. And I guess IntelliSense will get very crazy. Hello, joined. Welcome. Let me just check if okay. No. I think I clicked on the wrong button, boys. This searching handle event in like the whole code base. So okay, did it. I don't know what it did, but I just wanted to go here inside slot manager. Let's do this. Okay. So let's do it manually so it's easier. Handle event. Handle event is checking if it's dragging or not. Mouse down, mouse up, and then it's doing this place item, update item, drop item. And okay, and so this is what we have seen already before. Okay, and I'm fine with that. I understand that. Then client side, when we are dropping the item, right? We are here. We're inside this piece of code. We are getting the position, we are getting the rotation, and we are sending to the server this message, right? And this is what we should do in our blueprint now. So in our blueprint, I should use this class, which is this method, send move item, and passing in our slot movement message that we will construct, right? In the blueprint, and that's fine. Then when we arrive, so it is the message client to server saying, hey, I want to drop an item. Fine. Then when the server receives this, because this is the point, right? This is what I wanted to check. When the server receives this, is inside slot manager handle slot movement. Okay, so this one we have already. I think this one we have ported already. This handle slot movement we actually have, right? Because we have slot manager. So if I search handle slot movement in all open documents, there it is. So this one we ported already. Obviously it's not working, but it's ported, you know, so it's syntactically ported, but it's not working. But it's yeah, so this is the class we should call. This is the method we should call. When we receive the message, so this one have to be changed now. We need to pass in our F slot message, right? Which becomes this me. We can just call it message because then it's used message everywhere. So let's just call it message, and we rename also the slot manager handle slot message. I don't know why handle drop command. Okay, because the command is the one that we type in the chat. That's why. Okay. So we have this handle slot movement, which is taking our new struct, right? And we have it implemented here. Fine. Now. Yes. Now in our player controller, we should just implement that function, which is this one, right? Which we implement, I don't know, whatever, here at the bottom, and is in our PlaneShift player controller. And here what we do, I think at the moment we can just return, you know, we can just return, well, we are returning void, so we don't even need to return. We don't have to return anything. We just have to call slot manager handle something, right? Slot manager handle slot movement. Now, do we have a slot manager set up? Is a good question. Do we have a slot manager set up? No, we don't. So we need to set up a slot manager. I have to check where, because slot manager is not one of our declared managers here. At least I don't see it. I think it's not, right? It's not. Okay, so let me check where in the old code, I mean, if in the initialization of the old code there was a slot manager or not. So under PS server CPP during the initialization, we are doing the initialization somewhere. Here it is. Let me see if we have a slot manager, but probably we don't have it here. Let's see. In fact, we don't have it here. We don't have it here because this manager is actually initialized somewhere else. Is initialized somewhere else. Now, how the hell do I find where is initialized? There is a slot manager initialized. Okay, but I want to know who is calling this. Who is call? Well, I can maybe search for new slot manager everywhere. Yes, new slot manager everywhere. Okay, this one is initialized inside server char manager. Which we have, I guess. Server char manager. Yes, we have. We have. Okay, server char manager we have. So we can just call. Char manager. So if I go something like char manager, and then I wait 3 days that IntelliSense understands this, but I think we have something like get slot manager, and then we can call end slot movement, because this one is already initialized for us. Right? Let me check what is the function. Server char, server manager initialize, new slot manager is putting inside a variable called slot manager, and you see, The Visual Studio 2015 is now popping up on 2010. Pretty fun. So I need to understand the slot manager. Okay, it's just declared as a variable, that's fine, but do I have a get something, or is it just public and I just go and no, it's actually protected. But it's protected by being created there. So can I go? I want to know if I can just go slot manager, right? I cannot, right? Because it's protected. So how do I get this freaking slot? There is no get slot manager. There is no get slot manager. So if he's protected and is initialized there, because probably everything was happening inside of this, right? Everything was happening inside of this one. Do you believe this? I'm not 100% sure, but so let's assume it is. Let's see if our slot manager handle slot movement is actually called by no, because we were using this subscription thing, so we were coming directly inside the we were jumping directly inside the slot manager class. We were arriving here directly, you know, so because the subscription was triggering this manager. In our new world, we can, we can just make that public, or just do a get manager and whatever, right? And then call it, because I don't think that our PS server char is actually calling handle slot movement at all, and in fact is not. Okay, do we want to make it public, or do we want to just put a get something? I think we can just make it public. Just make it public, and who cares? I mean, it's only us using it at the end, so I don't think it's only these two classes using. I don't think it's unsafe, you know, to expose it. So in our PS server char, right? In our PS server char, which is on the server somewhere. No, it's not. Which is under bulk objects. PS server. Where the hell is this? What is the name? Sorry, is PS server char. Where is it? It's under server. Yeah, it should be under server. Didn't see it, huh? PS. I don't see it. Why I don't see it? Server char manager. Server char is this class, or is another class? I'm getting confused that is another class now. PS server char. Okay. Server char manager. Okay. Server. Let me search server char manager in our Unreal thingy. Yeah, server char manager is defined in PS server char. Okay. In PS, is here. Why I don't see it? Okay. PS server char. Okay, it's here. So we just make this thing public. Do you agree? You disagree? I think you disagree. I think you want to have a get of this, right? Which is cleaner. You're thinking, why to access a private member, blah blah blah, right? Okay. We do a get. I mean, it's one function more. Is not a problem for me. It's not a problem. So we can do a get slot manager, and we just return a slot manager, and this class is just doing return slot manager. Okay. I think you're fine with that, huh? You're fine with that. Okay, so if we have our get slot manager, now we go in our Planeship player controller, we just say this guy please get slot manager and then handle slot movement, and this one will take what does it take? IntelliSense GG. IntelliSense is lower than any human. Yeah, get would be more clear, huh? I knew it. I knew it. I wanted to do something dirty and you didn't allow me to. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I comply. While end slot movement is not working, please, it should be there, right? End slot movement should be part of our slot manager, no? Char manager is undefined. Come on, boys. It's not true. It's just because you don't have the include. Okay. PS server char.h. Okay. I mean, fine. Can I have my freaking IntelliSense working now? Please, give me a drop down. I know already what I have to write is endless slot manager, but I just want to be sure that it's true, you know? I just want to be sure that it's true. You can do it, Visual Studio. You can do it. You can do it. Go. You cannot do it. Okay. So endless slot movement. This one is we said here and is here. So it's taking as parameters our message and the client we are coming from. So the character we are coming from, right? So we need to pass in our move message, and then we have to pass in the current pawn. So we can just do get pawn and that's it. What did he want? He wanted a character, an APS character. Okay, we can just do get pawn cost to APS character, exactly like we do here. Okay. Why are you still complaining about this char manager? If I included oh, whatever, it was already one there. Did I really type the same thing twice? Why is complaining that this thing doesn't exist? It does exist. Pointer to is saying pointer to incomplete class type not allowed. Usually when it says that, it's just because you don't have the include that brings you to the right, you know, it's just you don't have the include. Yeah, but this one is defining server char manager, so it should be fine. Should be fine. Why you're complaining? Is it just low and or is really or is he right? Is he right? I think he's right. He's always right, and this guy is always right. Dirty, huh? Pointing of instant time is not an undefined slot manager. Man, undefined slot manager. Okay. Okay. I mean, I understand. That is not a problem. That is not a problem. I give you also slot manager. You like it more? Boy? Yeah, I think he likes it now. Okay, so we do this, and now we have a function that we can call client side cannot access private member. Man, first of all, I'm making this game, and so I can access whatever I want. Okay, so don't tell me I cannot access this private member. I mean, it's me. It's me, you know? Look at me. Why you want to do this? Slot manager and the slot movement cannot access private member that can slot manager. What I'm trying to access? I'm trying to access a private member. So handle slot movement is also private. Okay. Because we decided that it was only called through subscriptions. You know, great idea. I mean, all the handle should be. Why private, man? I mean, remove this private completely. It's not private to me. I mean, if you want, you can have private these things. I mean, these things I'm kind of okay. But the basics, the basic functions that are allowing us to actually handle things, no. Well, maybe these ones could be. Move money from inventory, move money. Let me check if this one, what does these things do? Yeah, based on the message, they do stuff. Okay, these things maybe we can have it as private. But the handle, no, because the handle is coming from the outside. So the handle must be available. The handle must be available, boys. Compile this thing. They should know who I am. I created them. I created all these things. Well, not only me, a lot of other people, but let's say I was always behind the scenes, you know. So this guy is saying it cannot convert. Yes, now the fun starts, because now we are actually using slot manager, which we never used before. And so the fun starts because now we have a different parameter coming in, which is actually FPS slot movement message instead of the previous message, which was named differently. And so all of this has to become, right, F. I just need to add F at the beginning, and everything is fine. And then I have to do the same in the CPP file. So everything here, every class, every move, all this move thing is easier if I search PS slot movement and I just search and substitute an MDF. I think it's probably easier. So it's here, then it's here, then it's here, then it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here. Okay, we did them all. But now the fun starts, because since the main parameter coming in is different type, now all the code will have errors everywhere. But it's fine. We will. Really? One succeeded? I mean, how is possible? No errors? I mean, I completely changed the type of the function coming in, the message coming in. Yeah, but it's true. I have the same information in it, the same attributes, right? So it's doing message from container, message to container. And he's very happy about it. He's very happy about it. So it compiled everything. Wow. Wow. I was expecting like half an hour of fighting through stupid errors, but no. Seems not. Seems not. I'm amazed. I'm kind of amazed. Okay. So if this compiled, and you also heard did you hear the sound like the blip 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 blip? The thing? Okay, that thing means that also our Unreal Engine editor compiled with a super cool kind of hot reload, which is a kind of a black voodoo magic to me. But anyway, it compiled on the fly also inside the editor. So now here in our editor we should have that additional method. The only point is that the additional method, we called it on get player controller. I don't know if this is a mistake, because It could be a mistake. You know why? Because we learned when we were doing the chat that if I have to broadcast back a message to multiple clients, I have to go through an actor. If I go through the player controller, then it's fucking up everything. And this one of dropping an item into the world for sure is something that we have to broadcast everywhere, right? Crap. Okay, so I mean we can try, but I think it will not work. I mean we can try, but I think it will not work. We have to move. Well, it's only this. It's only this thing. It's not much. It's only one call. I mean, it's only this function. But I think we have to move from here to our APS character. No, to what? We have to move it. What do we have to move it? We have to move it to APS character. Where did we? Wait a second. Broadcast. Where did we place the broadcast thingy? Yes, in APS card. Yeah, here it is, exactly. You see this one is the one that we wanted to broadcast back, and we actually used to broadcast the same message back to all the clients. And doing it inside a pawn was actually working because the pawn is present in every other client, while doing it from a player controller was not working because the player controller exists only on the owning client or on the server, not on the other clients, not on the other players' clients, right? So it is what really messed up our work the other time, so I don't want to redo the same error, right? So I think we should I mean, I think that the call can be right. I think that the message client to server can be inside Planeshift player controller. It's no problem. But when we go back, so in theory this one is okay. But when we go back and we want to notify everyone that an item has been dropped to the ground, it has to be inside. It has to be inside the pawn, inside the player character, inside the character, right? Inside the pawn. Right? I think we had a nice picture of this. I don't know if I still have it. I remember I had a picture of this when we figured out this stuff. It was a kind of a wow moment, which I still don't know if it's correct, but it is my understanding. If someone else has different ideas, just tell me. Was it this one? No, there was another. I think I didn't save it. Oh my god! If I didn't save that one, would be a pity. I think I didn't. GG. Well, I could get back to the. I could get. Ah, it is. It's called broadcast message travel. I have it, boys. I have two. One is this, and one is this. Oh my god! This was something, huh? This was something. But basically what we said that yes, on the client you have the player controller of our main character. On the server you have both player controllers, these two thingies here. These two thingies. When you go back from the first client player controller, which is this one, to another client, which is this one, the player controller, it doesn't exist. So you cannot go back from this player controller trying to broadcast to the other actors, right? It was not working. So what we did something like this, which is basically, instead of going to the player controller, right here, we get the actor and we get the other actor, and then it's from sorry about the mess, but it's from this actor. Then we go back to the client and to all the other clients, and so we can actually broadcast properly the message. So this was what we learned, you know. And so for whatever broadcast, I mean, unless there is a smarter way, I don't know if it's a smarter way, like something that you just add a flag, you know, and it does this for us automatically. Maybe there is, but I don't know it. Unless there is something automatic to do this, which maybe it exists, because I guess there is a pretty common case. No, I don't think it's a special case. It's just a normal case where you have to broadcast back to everyone something. But yeah. But basically, did we print out which were the messages that we sent? No, we didn't print it, because now what I would like to know is what function we used to do that. What functions we used? I think we used a send chat message, this one. A send chat message. This send chat message is on the player controller, right? This one is then calling chat manager handle chat message. Okay, fine. Which is inside, come on, is inside our freaking thingy. Okay, here. Here we do all the reasoning. Okay, it's an NPC, it's not an NPC. I'm speaking with my pet. I'm speaking with myself. Whatever I'm speaking with, right? And then if I see that I'm speaking with a character, I use this sensei, right? You remember the sensei, yeah? We worked on it like for days. And this sensei, what he's doing, yes, he's doing this thing. Is searching all the player controllers for all the... So we should do something very similar, right? We should do something very, 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 very similar. So we broadcast this message to everyone in the world. If we drop an item to the ground, if we just move it from one inventory slot to the other and it's not something that is visible, we don't care. We don't broadcast it to anyone, right? Okay, this is good. This is good. So this piece of code we should do exactly the same. Okay, so let's recap. Can I type into that thing? I think I can, right? I think I can. So send chats, man. So let me say something. So send chats. Actually, this is not very correct, because, well, it is, but we are calling it on the player control. The first one we are calling in the player controller. So in reality, okay, who cares about this drawing? But in reality, here we are calling in this part. It's not very visible. Huh? In this part, we are not going directly to the actor, but we are going first to the player controller, and then we're going to the actor, and then we are going to the other actors, and blah blah blah. Right? But okay, fine. Who cares? Let's move on. So on our player controller, we can have and incoming, let's call it incoming, which I think is very understandable. Incoming item move from one location to another, right? Nice. This send move item, in our player controller we said is fine. Is fine because when we are sending, it's fine if it's on the player controller. So we can call it from here. So here we can do get player controller, whatever, get player controller, cast to plane shift player controller, and here we can do our send move item, you see? Boom, we have it already. This one is the one that he generated with the hot reload magic, with the magic thing. So here, okay, we are printing something, which I like because at least we have some tracing. Then where is this thing going? Update slot. You should not update the slot because this will be a message coming from the server. You know, I mean, I can keep it connected for now, but it is not what it should do. I don't know exactly what his update slot is doing, but if he's actually moving the item, he should not do it. I have no idea. Ah, now I lost where I was. I'm here. Okay, so drop item into the world. Drop item into world. Okay. So we call send move item, which is that function, and we construct our message. Now we need to construct our message here. And this PS load movement message, PS slot movement message. We can make it. We make it? No. I want to make it. Come on. I want to make it by parameters. No. I want to make it. How do I? No, I want to have something that I can, that I can create. I want to create it with variables. I want to create a PS slot movement method, because if I do like why is it because it's read only? No, why this thing? Why I cannot create this thing? Why I cannot create this struct blueprint type? Right. Is this because it is read only? What is this blueprint read only, by the way? Because just copy pasted from some other places. I don't know exactly what hell is it is. Blueprint read only, Unreal documentation. Blueprint read only, Unreal Engine, blueprint read only. Do you know it? If you know it, tell me. Why I find only pages in Japanese, in Korean actually, that one. No, not Korean. I want English. Okay, not possible. No. Okay. GG. Unreal Engine documentation. Blueprint read only. Read and writable property. Okay. Blueprint read only. Blueprint read only. Where is it? Blueprint read only. This property can be read by the blueprints but not modified. very bad. Why I'm setting everything blueprint read only? I want to read and write. I mean, why not? I mean, why not? Make rotator. Yeah, I want to make it exactly like this. Right? I want to make it like this. Makes a rotator. Makes a rotator. Roll picture from rotation value. F rotator, Mac rotator. U param. No, but I mean, really? I mean, it's so nice that he creates the break, right? It's so nice that he creates this thing, which can break your thingy. Why cannot do the same to create one? I don't understand. Because my class is not, because my constructor is not uprint something. Maybe. Because my constructor is not, none of my constructor actually are blueprint something. Maybe I should just set the constructor to something. Come on, it's an easy question, you know it, you can help me. So create struct in blueprint. Okay, I want to create a structure. No, I mean I want to create obviously a custom structure, not a, I mean not an existing structure easy, but I want to create a blueprint structure. I mean, not this. You know how to do it and you're not telling me, guys, right? I know. Okay, but this blueprint, I want to make it in C++ like I did. Okay, I could also do it here, but I don't want to do it here. I have it in my C++. I just want to have the flag. I mean, I understand I can go here and say blueprint something. Blueprint structure. Okay, nice. Then when I have this, what I do? I add my memory variable. Okay, it's fine, but I don't want it like this. Like this is making me confused. I don't want it like this. I want just to have my structure. Maybe I just need a constructor, you know. Even if I think that the constructor needs all the U properties and stuff. Aha! Struct variable blueprint essentials. Look at this.
In this video, I want to talk about the struct.
Do it in C++, please. No, it's doing it in freaking blueprints only.
Cases.
No.
So you'll see things like. In many cases, the next thing you'll.
Everyone go.
Our old notes out of the way. This would be, again, just a collection.
Freaking hell. You know what? I can just look at their source code and see how they do it. They just take any of the structures that is created. I mean, how can I, like the vector, right? The vector, I can create it. If I go here and I want to create a vector, I don't remember where I was. Here. If I want to create a vector, if I say vector 3D, f vector, I don't know what, f vector, vector. If I want to create a new vector, make vector. You see? Make vector, you can put things in, you know, you can connect things here. I want to have the same thing, exactly the same one. I mean, this thing was saying that I have to do all of that. I have to create all of that. I mean, I can. I mean, this is making an example, right? He's saying that if you want to have your what was that? No, it's not here. Crap, I lost it. But he was saying, yes, make linear color, for example. No, 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 no. This one. Not this one. Why I closed that window? Right click on the struct. Right click on the struct. Here is my struct. What can I do? I can delete, cut, copy, duplicate, refresh, break, reference, collapse, collapse to function, alignment. That's it. Can do anything. I mean, I want the opposite. I want these pins to be like the one that you see here on the vector. So I can create it by putting variables in, by putting things in. Right? I want to create it by putting things. I cannot put things in here. There is an output. And I don't know why. Yeah, I break it like this, but and I break it like this, but I cannot make it. I can break it but not make it. You see this make PS slot movement? Everything is only output, it's not input. I don't know why. Unless the text is so long that is actually no, but the pins should be on the left. The pin should be on the left. Pin should be on the left. No idea. Make node for custom struct in C++. There must be a way. I made a custom struct in C++ and I want to break the struct to members in the blueprint, but there is no node about that. What should I do more about? Yeah, but this one is pointing to this. Okay. Let me check. F generated body U property. Always make U struct variable U property. No U property stack, no replicate. Simplify your life debugging. Use always use U property. U property. U property. Okay, it's fine. I do this. Example 1. U property. U property. U property. U property. Example 2. U property. U property. U property. U property. Struct member variable. Struct assignment. Deep copy. Automatic make and break. I think I'm missing this blueprint read and write. I think that's my only issue. Because you see this guy has the pins on the left. Yeah. I think it's this, boys. I think it's just we, for whatever reason, we decided to make it blueprint read only. I don't know. I mean, why I want it blueprint read only? I don't want it blueprint read only. I want it blueprint everything. Okay, let's try to make it blueprint read and write. I wonder if I make half of them read only and half of them. Let's leave one read only just for fun and see if we mess up with Unreal. Like there will be half of the most of the pin on the left and then only one on the right. I don't know, but could be. So it would be like half and half, right? Because one I cannot write into it. Let's see. I only left one read only. Maybe we invalidates the whole structure. Could be. I'm compiling for hot reload. It's compiling. Go, go, go. My computer is pretty good, but it's still taking a lot of time. Okay. It recompiled, so let me remove this and see if I can make. Let me try PS slot movement. Well, there are some make hot reload, whatever. I think we messed up everything here. Yes, there is one pin on the right. Look at this. There's one pin on the right. So I can write these variables, but this one is read only, and so it puts it on the right side. It's like, fuck it, you cannot write this one. Oh no, sorry, this is the output. No, this is the output. No, this is the output. So the read only probably it is not listed. 2 container slots account, 2 container slots account. From container slot container to containers account. Yes, so the only one that is missing is in place. Yes, it's in place. Yeah, I think it just doesn't present it. So we have to make everything blueprint read and write. When we know that we have the ability to write it, then this hot reload is scaring me a bit, but I think it's fine. So now it's fine. So now we can create it. We can create it, boys. We did it. We actually did it. No, I missed the previous comment about you all know, huh? You know, you're not telling me because you want me to learn the hard way, huh? You want me to learn really the details. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay, anyway, now we have it correct. So as soon as we finish compiling, I think we will be able to we can remove, yeah, as soon as it compiles, we hear the blip. We will be able to create this move message in the blueprint and send it to this function. Blip. Okay, so PS slot. Oh my god, there are a million auto reload, but we care only about this one. Okay, make move message. Okay, this one, right? This one. Why not? You joking? Because probably this one I placed before, and so now it's getting confused. Send move item. The auto reload is messing up. Auto reload PS slot movement message structure 1. What is this? What is this? I was just saying that this system was beautiful, but now it's messing up with me. Okay, let's do this. Close. Save all. close, save all, delete crazy DLLs. We have 1 million hot reload crazy DLLs. Delete them all. Delete also this one. Delete all the one with numbers. And just recompile. We recompiled and just launch the editor, and it will ask us to recompile, and then we have a clean situation. Right? Now we will say is missing. Do you want to build? Yes, we say yes. Okay, and now we will have a clean situation on the editor side. We have a clean situation, boys. So I think the default is read write if you send no parameters. Yes, probably yes. I don't know. I just copied the blueprint read only from some examples, and then I continue to copy it over and over and over across my code, and now everything is blueprint read only. I mean, the majority actually is okay because we create those messages from the code, and then in the blueprint we only break them. We only do a break, but I don't know if it costs more or if it's costs more in terms of performances, or if it's exactly the same. If it's exactly the same, we should convert all to read and write. I mean, I don't know why in that example there was only read only. I have no idea. I mean, why should someone use read only? That's the question probably. Why read only exists? Eh? It's for again safety of I don't know, like protected, in C++ or something like this. Private, it's like private in C++. You don't want people to mess up with it in the blueprints. Are you giving them a warning? Don't touch my freaking messages. Could be. Okay, let's see if now it's better. Can I connect this to this, please? Thank you. Okay. So we managed to connect it. Now the problem is that we have to create it though. How do we create all these things? Do we have all these things? I don't know. I can let Cyborg figure out, and I can fake the fact that I have to go to bed, stop here, and then ask him to fill out all of these pins. That's a solution, eh? That's a solution. Or I can try to figure out myself. So basically, what we have to do, we have to fill in from container to container, from slot to slot, stack count, so how many, and position into the world, rotation into the world, guarded, and in place. Okay. So we start to do the one that I know. Position we have here because we got a get actor location. No, it's not a get actor location. It's it result location. Okay, the rotation actually we don't have. So for now we assume the rotation is always 0, 0, 0. Okay, then we will figure out if we want to allow the player to rotate the items on the ground, like we do in plane shift, in the old one. So this one easy. Guarded, no. Well, guarded, well, it's dropped by this player, so it's guarded, yes. In place, I have no idea what is it. What is in place? In place? We have no description of these things. In place. Let's say for now is in place. Well, what is in place? Let's search in place everywhere. Message in place. Drop item, drop guarded, blah blah blah. Drop item command. What is this in place? No idea. Command drop item. Message in place. Our documentation sucks a bit on this, huh? For example, here we pass when we drop the item in the world, we say false, but what is this? Let me see if in the description of this message maybe it didn't describe shit. All these parameters are not described in our documentation, unfortunately. Here we ignore that parameter. I would like to see one place where it's true. One place. Okay, here it is a variable. Words in place. Well, in place is actually a keyword. You can pass drop quantity any no guard in place. In place. Okay, is that he uses the player's position. No? I think so. I think it just uses the player position. This in place. Am I client side or server side? I'm server side. So let me just go where this message is used. But I think, come on, it's impossible. It's only here. Come on. And the drop message, drop event. I'm trying to understand this in place, what the hell it does. No, but it's not here. I think it's dropping it where the player is. I'm pretty sure of that, but I'm kind of sure. I mean, I'm not sure, but I have this feeling, you know, when you have a feeling. I think it's just used when you use the command, you know, when you use the command there is no coordinates. Oh my god, we do so much stuff in here, there's so much code, but let me search message dot in place. Character drop item. Let me see what it does here. In place. Yes, you see, and the position in place drops at the character position. Okay, can we move this in our documentation in a way that I can actually avoid spending 3 hours to understand it? Let's put it in. Let's put it in our slot movement message. Yes, exactly here. I would say here we say drop at the character's position. Okay, drop at the character's position, and I think we put the same in our new thingy, which is here. drop at the character's position. Okay. Do you think I should place the comment first or the U property first? Do you have an example of that? Comment, U property, command. Okay. Like this. Comment, U property, command, and variable. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so in place, we don't want in place because as soon as we have the word position, it's not in place. So okay, fine. Now, stack count. Do we have the number of items we are dropping, or we just assume that we drop one by one? Let's assume we drop one by one for now. So stack count will be 1, hard-coded. Now the problem is from container to container. What the hell do we put here? Well, first of all, I think that some of this is not an integer, but is actually an enumeration, right? Like from container, I think is an enumeration. I think we should change it to an enumeration. From container, I have the feeling is an enumeration. And usually my feelings are kind of good, but oh, in this case is not, huh? Because there was this world container, world thingy. What was that? There was a world container. Is the ID of the container, huh? Whatever it is. If it's a player, if it's so probably is not a good. So probably is not an enumeration. Probably is not an enumeration. I want to go client side and check how it does it. Let me go client side. Client side, any place. Yeah, but you see that is actually an enumeration. Slot container, container inventory money. But how does he know that it's from a specific, like if you are moving from one chest, let's say that you are moving from one chest, right, to another chest. These are actual items in the world, so how does it do this? It's a mix, you see? It's a mix. Sometimes it's an enumeration, sometimes it's actually an ID. Like here is an actual ID of the. This is a bit of a mess though. Why we use the parameter with two meanings? It's not very good. We use minus because my question was, what if you have item 9 and you're using 9 for inventory, but okay, whoever designed this decided that yes, to avoid that problem, being that we are using an integer, then we can use minus something to can we do this in Unreal or not? Can we assign a specific number to I think we did it already. Specific number to an enumeration. I remember we had some weird stuff where we enum u meta. I think we can also give it a value probably. Let me search in the documentation, because we can give it a value, we can keep it the same. I would be more happy to keep it as in the old code, so we don't get crazy then doing translations. So if I go inside whatever documentation, I search enum, and I want strongly typed enums. Nice. What is strongly typed enums? Well, I wonder where you have namespace. No, I don't need a namespace. I need oh, by the way, there was flags as well. Didn't know this. To define bitwise operators. I think we had this issue. Yes. I had this issue that I wanted to define some flags, but for the bitwise operator, I don't remember where it was. Probably was here in the chat thingy or in the message thingy. It was one of this that had this problem that we wanted to use. Okay, but anyway, this is not what we want. We want to... Can we do it without flag, but just with numbers? Can I do it just with numbers? Seems not, because here we have a lot of documentation. E-flags. I would like to have an enumeration with negative numbers. Can I do this? Doesn't seem like, but okay. Let's see what the internet says about this. Let's see what the internet says. Enum negative values. Create an enum with negative values. Nice. There's a lot of people having our same problems, by the way. Oh, wait. Is he speaking about Unreal or is creating? No, he's not speaking about Unreal. Fuck. Okay. Enum uses enum as a 8-bit uint 8, which cannot be negative. No, we cannot have negative numbers. Ouch! Pain! We cannot have negative numbers, boys, so we cannot have negative numbers. Oh my god. So the problem here, what is the problem here? The problem here is that we have to change some of the code, because when the code will say equal to blah blah blah, this is very annoying though. It's very annoying because we need, I mean, okay, we can have, or we make 2 parameters, but making 2 parameters is also annoying. I have to change all the code. I don't want to change the code. I want to keep the code exactly the same. I want to be a monkey. Just copying the code, not reinventing it. How do I do this? How do I do this? This is a kind of a problem though. Because, okay, in C++ I can do it, right? I mean, I can do exactly like this. And probably I already have it, even in a real, right? The problem is that then when I want slot container, here it is, right? So this is already compiled. So I have my slot container, which is a negative number. The problem is that if I want to use a enum, I mean a real enumeration, an unreal enumeration, then this doesn't work anymore. This doesn't work anymore, meaning that we cannot use it in the blueprints. Ah, so painful. We cannot use it in the blueprints because we will not be able to say word container here. Right? We will not be able to say word container. Crap. So, or we add another parameter, which is one is our enumeration, and then these ones are used only if the enumeration is null. It's so annoying though. It's so annoying. So, because then I have to change the code, you know, the code that is checking for all these values will be messed up. The other way is to just keep it like this and keeping as an integer here, so we just pass an integer and fuck it, right? Yes, u is unreal. Now enum is unreal enum, yes, so is when you are transforming it so that you can actually use it in a blueprint, right? So an example is, I don't know, we have many examples, not here, but we have examples of enumerations like chat. If you go in chat, in chat, there are, yeah, like this one, for example. This one, you see, this is an enumeration that we have created with a enum, so an unreal enumeration. So it is actually an uint8 type, and then you can use it inside the blueprint. The problem is that our code is unfortunately using negative enumerations, and we cannot use negative enumerations here. So we should, you know, we should do something like, I know it's very brutal, okay? Look at this. We copy this. I know it's very brutal. We copy this. We put it in the comment. Boom. We put it in the comment. We pin the comment. It stays there forever. Right? It stays. Oops. It stays here forever. And so we can always look at this. And when we have to pass whatever container world, we go here and we go -8. Is it terrible? I would say yes. Is it working? I would say yes. Is it something that we will be ashamed of in our future? That I don't know. But probably yes. But I mean, the other way is to convert it just to a normal enumeration, and then in every place in the code where we say no, but we cannot do it, because if we do it in normal enumeration, this number will become 4, And then if for any reason in the world we have a container that is named 4, it will completely fuck up our logic, because instead of considering the container number 4, it will consider container exchange receiving, which I don't even know what it is, but is yes, it's the exchange window where you're exchanging items with NPCs. You know? Or we are adding another parameter. This one we call it container ID, and then we add a parameter which is container enumeration or container type, right? You can call it container type, and then we put this enumeration as container type. The problem of that is that as soon as we do this, everywhere in the code, in the old code, where we are using slot containers, we are using any of this, which I guess is in million places, right? Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. We will have to change it. We will have to change the code and say get container type, and I will be getting crazy converting this code and doing all the testing, you know, doing all the testing, like checking if we didn't mess up something with the translation. I don't think I want to do this. I think I prefer to be ashamed of our coding here our numbers for now. Being ashamed by have a working game, but have a working game. So I think that for now I will leave it like this. Okay, it's a tough decision, I know. Our kids and our nephews, whatever, will say bad things about us. They will laugh about our programming skills, you know, but we will explain why. We will tell them the story of the 2001 code that was converted into 2018 code, and the fact that there was the simplest way. No, all of us will be part of this. All of us will be part of this. All of us. There is no one excluded. No one excluded. We are doing these things. You don't know, but the chat is actually recorded in the video. So people can see that you were saying this in 10 years from now. If they go back to the video, they will see the chat, they will see your comment, they will see, oh yes, go and do it now, no one will know. Do it, it will remain unseen. I know. Okay. So we take this bold decision. Okay. We take this bold decision and we just keep it like this. Okay, so let's assume that we decided, for now we decided. Who cares? Okay, so what we pass to this guy? We want to pass the. Are we moving from inventory, or are we moving from what? We're moving from inventory, right? So the from container is inventory bulk or is inventory equipment? Do you know? Because there is a difference. If we are moving from inventory equipment, then it means that it's something that is visible outside. So like I'm dropping my hat or my weapon or my armor, you know. Inventory bulk is just something that is in my inventory and no one cares about it. So I don't know if you have this distinction now into the code, you know, into the blueprints, but I need to know. You know, I need to know if we are dropping. I didn't click with mouse. I don't know. We have to split if is the is split. Oh no, you will do it, okay? Because you did all of that. So I need a drop item into world from equipment, and I need a drop item. I need a drop item. Oh, I did something bad. Well, not too bad. No. I need a drop. What is this? Come here, boy. Okay. And then I need a drop item into world from inventory bulk. From inventory bulk. So inventory bulk are the bulk items, the bulk slots. The one that is like your backpack. We can call it backpack. Why we call it bulk? I have no idea. We should call it bulk. Well, by backpack bulk. Let's call it backpack bulk so everyone will know. Okay, so I need these two cases because they're actually two different cases. So from now we say that we are dropping from bulk. Let's assume we are dropping from bulk. Hello, Riccardo. How are you? Welcome back. We are working on the inventory and dropping items from our inventory to the ground. This is what we are working on. And yes. And so we are trying to go through this, converting some of the old code, the new code, and trying to make the best decisions for our future and for our reputation in the future. We did some very bold decision. We took some very bold decision. Okay, so now if I say it is -1, then I say that it goes into the world, and so it is -8. I know you love this. I know you really love this -1 and -8 here on screen. I know. Then we just need to know the slot. So the slot is this one, inventory slot, so easy. The 2 slot we don't have because a world doesn't have a slot. I know you may say, I mean, a world should have everything, right? You will have one slot here or there. No, it doesn't have a slot. It's just without slots. And then stack count 1, position, we give the position, rotation we don't care, guarded yes, in place no. Nice! I think we created this thing. So we are sending this message to the server. Right? We are sending it. I think we are sending it. Then I don't know why I should do this update slot. Probably I should not do it. I mean, to me, the thing stops here. I don't know what is this update slot. Target slot item. Target item, image, second, wait. I mean, this update slot should be called from the server. You know, it's only the server that can move things. No one else can move things. It's only you are asking this kindly to the server to move something, and the server says if you can or you cannot. And if you cannot, you will not move it. If you can, we will receive a message from the server which will then execute this. So this should be called by the server, right? Heavy stuff. Yeah, heavy stuff. Depends on the item, but yes, heavy stuff. Okay, so I think we want at least to see that we send this message to the server, right? So let's assume this works. Let's assume that we drop something and we print this, and can we print also something like, because this is nice, okay, but I would like to print Well, actually, printing the distance, I don't care too much. I mean, okay, but let's leave it. What I want to print, I want to print. I want to print dropping item from bulk to world. Okay, that's what I want to print, so that we know what we are doing when we. Yeah. I want to see this message. I want to see this message when we execute this. Okay, let's assume this works. We go to the send move item, so we go server side. We arrive in our planeship controller, which is actually down here. Send move item. We have our message, fine. We call our slot manager, which is ready to take the message. We call end the slot movement, which is inside the slot manager. You can do it. We pass in our message in the client. Now, what's happening? Well, first of all, we get a nice set of printouts, so we know exactly what's happening. So, God's loop move message from staggered items, from container to container, perfect. We print out all of this on the server side. Nice. If the stack is less than 1, we should not do anything. Well, okay. I couldn't find a character data. Okay, this cannot happen, but anyway. And then what do we do? If from container is greater than 1000, not an inventory slot. Well, this is a bit funny, but okay. Depends what we have in the database, boys, but probably we assume that we have initialized our items to be after 1000. Okay, this is what we did in the database for whatever reason 10 or 20 years ago. So this thing is not 1000. Okay, I mean, it's not the best. There is something to be ashamed now, so we are laughing on it. So this was some bold decision taken. There was some bold decision taken at that time. Okay, not the best decision, but and then what we do? Well, we just check, we switch based on the container. If it's a bulk or equipment, we then call move from inventory, right? Which is cool. I like this. Move from inventory, what is doing is, I don't know, is checking destination slot, is getting inventory bulk, is getting the slots, is doing some calculations. I don't know what it's doing. We don't care what it's doing. Is multiplying by 100 the container. I have no idea what is this, but okay, let's assume it works. From slot to slot, whatever. Then is item proposed. Okay, here we start to get into the thing, yeah. So get item. Okay, it's going into our inventory and it's getting the actual item. So this is the item proposed to be moved. And you see, proposing to move item, blah blah blah, into slot, blah blah blah. Now he's doing all the possible checks to see if he can actually move it. You cannot move an item being used. You cannot move an item being exchanged. You know, there's a lot of smart stuff going on here. And then what? And then it checks the target, you know, if the target is okay. So can we move? Yeah, this one I would like to be able to put containers into containers. Yeah. I don't know if, but it is not working. Okay. There is an expansion we may do later on. So get its containers and system, blah blah blah. You may put a container into container. Okay. Despite, I would say, despite Talad wishes. Anyway. PS Identity Supervisor. Okay, all of this is fake code. So all this code is actually to be changed, at least a bit. I mean, not much, but a bit. What it's doing? It's searching for an object. It's searching for the actual container gem object. But container gem object is not our case, because we are doing a move from inventory to world. Okay, so this one for now we ignore it. There's a lot of code. Exchange offering, we ignore it. Container world. Okay, this is when it drops to the world. So if we are dropping to the world and all our checks went okay, it just removes the item from the inventory. And then it calls drop item into the world. Fine. Drop item, what drop item does? Okay, checks that the item still exists, checks if the item is in use. You cannot drop an item while in using it. Okay. We did the check actually already in the previous function, but fine. We check again to be very, very sure. Then we check if it's in place, and in this case we take that position of, what is location? Location is location. What is location? Is location of my character? I don't know if this works in Unreal. I think this should be probably different, but for now let's leave it like this. I think this one is broken. This location is broken. It's probably 0. But we can change it later, just to understand what this thing is doing. If it's in place, drops at the character position. If it's not in place, it checks if it's not 0, 0, 0, and it checks if it's close enough to the character. You see? So the check is done here actually. So the check that you were doing in the blueprint, which made sense by the way, which is the drop distance, is actually already checked by the server. If you do the check here, they will change the client, remove the check, and they will be able to drop items everywhere in the world. So they will be like inside a dungeon, killing the boss, and they will be putting the items that they get directly in their guild chest, you know, that they have 1000 kilometers away. Because these guys will just remove this piece of code because it's on the client, so on the client they can do whatever they want, and yeah, and they will cheat. They'll be cheating like bosses. So we don't want that. We want the distance check to be done. So it's not check the drop distance. It's just where is this thing coming from here? We should not check the drop distance. We should just get the drop distance just for fun. I mean, if we need to print it out, okay. I mean, you can say print the drop distance. Fine. I mean, if you want to print it, we can print it, but it's not something that we want to check on the client side, right? And sorry, why I'm doing this? I can just switch this to okay, we just print the drop distance here. Then, so the distance is checked here on the server side. Max drop distance, which is, I don't know, 5 or 10, whatever it is. We check the security level because GMs can probably drop things everywhere they want. Okay, so no position specified. All this is good. Play the drop item sound for this item. Wow, interesting. Play some. Okay, this one we don't have at the moment, but okay, let's assume we will do it in the future. Announce this one, for example, we could move client side. I mean, we could, but the problem is that if we do and then it broadcasts to everyone, they will freaking make sounds everywhere. So I think it should still be the server. Announce the drop. So this is a good one. So it's sending a message to everyone that the item has been dropped. If you are dropping from inventory, you should probably remove it. No. Okay. I think this code is good. Will not work as it is, unfortunately. Will not work as it is, but at least it will execute. Right? And I think that the next session that we will do together, which will be tomorrow is Friday, right? I will not be able to stream Friday. I will be able to stream Saturday afternoon. Okay, so the next session we will do together, we will go through this code and we will actually try to see if we can drop the item into the world. Okay, because now it's getting late, I cannot stay too much more, and so I think we have to close the session. But it was good. I mean, what we did, we converted the slot message. We understood how the slot message was working. We decided we take some bold decision about the containers. We actually connected the code from yes, we connected the code to make this slot created and call the server and execute that. Okay, I mean, we didn't do much, but we did some anyway. Okay, good. Then we need to add this drop into work from equipment. So I will save everything I did. I will save everything. Bold decisions can go. And I will check in into SVN our changes. I will not test it again. No, I think it's fine. So what I want to add, so I deleted this one, I added a new one. Careful, otherwise careful. Otherwise, what is it? Here it is. Okay, this one has to be added. So what we did, we connected the client side item drop to the server side send drop message. Send drop message. It was called send drop message, right? What it was called? Send drop message? No, send move item. Okay. Send move item. Send move item method. Okay. This is the only thing we did, right? Did we do anything else? No. This is what we did. So let's check it in. Boom. Done. With that said, I think I will leave you. I know it's sad, I know, but I will leave you. I will see you again Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon and evening as well. Oh, by the way, it's Easter, So Monday is also holiday, so potentially I will be here also Monday, which is good. So I think we can do some good progress. The problem is that tomorrow evening and next day I have some let's call it social activities, and unfortunately I will not be programming, so I will be going out and doing stuff with people, and so yes. But apart from that, I think we can meet again Saturday afternoon. So with that said, thank you for watching, and have a good night or a good day or a good whatever.